Everyone assumes when a housing market slows down that luxury homes are the first thing to cool off. But here's the thing, I pulled the actual June numbers for every detached home, so I'm talking single family home here in Atlanta, over $600,000, and that's not what's happening. This part of the market is actually heating up while other parts are cooling down. And real quick, if you would like to work with me, my info is in the description below. And quick note on where this comes from. The First Multiple Listing Service, we also call it the FMLS here in Atlanta. It is the actual database agents use to close these deals. So it's not an estimate, it's not a guess. This is actual closed transaction data. Everything that we're going to talk about today is detached houses only. So standalone homes with no shared walls, priced at $600,000 and above, and I did not put a ceiling on it. As of June, there were 5,547 active listings in this range, up from 5,265 last June. That's about 280 more homes on the market than this time last year. That is an increase, in case you were wondering, of 5%. A 5% increase is worth noting, but it's nowhere close to what you would see if sellers were panicking or rushing to unload their homes. There's genuinely more to choose from than a year ago, but you're not walking into a segment that's suddenly flooded with a lot more options. 1,485 homes in this range sold in June compared to 1,438 last June. That's 47 more sales and an increase about 3%. So let's do the quick math on supply. If you have 5,547 active listings divided by 1,485 sold, that gives us about 3.7 months of supply. So remember, 6 months is considered balanced. So the meaning it doesn't favor the sellers and it doesn't favor the buyers. So this range is still much tighter than that. Sales climbing at the same time inventory is climbing tells you buyers are absorbing the new homes just as fast as they're showing up. If you've been waiting for less competition up here, it's not showing up in the numbers just yet. The average sales price for homes $600,000 and up was $1,045,553 this June compared to $1,001,450 last June. That's about a $44,000 increase and up about 4.4%. So just to give you a little bit of context in this, the overall Atlanta detached market, so blending every price point together, only climbed about 2% this year, which is roughly about $10,000 on an average home. This range grew more than double that rate. Homes over $600,000 aren't just keeping pace with the rest of the market, they are appreciating much, much faster. If you are a buyer, this means you should not expect this range to be some kind of bargain corner just because other parts of the market feel more balanced right now. If you are a seller, it means your home is likely gained more value over this past year than a typical Atlanta home did. So here's where things get interesting. Homes in this range average about 29 days on the market right now, and it was about 29 days this time last year. So that is completely flat. But if you look at the entire detached market, so blending all the price points together, right now it averages 54 days on the market. So homes over 600,000 are selling almost twice as fast as that. Selling that quickly tells you buyer demand at this price point is really strong, not just holding steady. If you are serious about buying here, you have to be ready to move quickly on the right house because a well-priced listing isn't on the market for very long. So if you looked at combined expired and withdrawn listings, so meaning it either didn't sell and so the contract that the seller had with the listing agent just expired, so the home was pulled off the market, or the seller actively just pulled it off. If you look at that range, 1,336 this year compared to 1,258 last year, that's an increase about 6%. But here's the number that really puts that into perspective. 1,485 homes sold in this range in June, and 1,336 expired or were withdrawn. Add those together, and that's 2,821 listings that reached some kind of ending last month. 1,336 of them did not sell. That is almost half. So for every 2 listings above 600,000, one of them did not sell. Prices are climbing and homes are still selling fast, but a rising number of sellers are still failing to close. That tells me buyers in this range are willing to pay more, but only for the right home at the right price. They're not just accepting whatever's overpriced and jumping at it. If you are selling a home above 600,000, that's the lesson. Strong demand does not protect you from the wrong asking price. This is one of the more surprising pockets of the entire Atlanta market right now. Prices are climbing faster here than almost anywhere else. Sales are up and homes are still moving under a month. At the same time, more sellers are getting stuck without a sale than they did last year. That combination tells me something specific. Demand at this price point isn't going anywhere, but pricing mistakes are absolutely costing sellers more than they used to. If you are a buyer here, rising prices doesn't mean that you've lost all your leverage. A seller who priced their home wrong is more likely than last year to eventually need to come down. If you are a seller here, take this as a friendly heads up. Getting the price right from day one matters more than it used to because the market is rewarding accurate pricing and being a lot less forgiving of overpricing than it was a year ago. If you found this video helpful and you want a more comprehensive look at the entire Atlanta real estate market, check out this next video where I break down exactly what's happening across the entire Atlanta market, detached and attached homes, and why it's more divided than people realize. I hope to see you over there.